All right, we are going to be solving quadratic equations by completing the square. So let's get a quadratic equation. So I'm going to have x squared minus 12x plus 7 equals 0. All right, now, first thing I want to do is I need to get this to the other side of the equal sign. So I'm going to subtract 7. Why? Because this is not a perfect square trinomial. What I'm going to do is I'm going to build my own perfect square trinomial. And in order to do that, the 7 has to be booted to the other side. So we subtract 7 from each side, and I now have x squared, bringing it down, minus 12x, I'm going to leave a space, equals negative 7. Now, we could call this c, because remember these are ax squared plus bx plus c, and when we want to find the value of c, c equals b divided by 2, and then we square it. All right, so our b is negative 12. So c equals negative 12 divided by 2, quantity squared. All right, so c equals negative 12 divided by 2 gives me negative 6. When I square negative 6, I get 36. So c equals 36. Now, what I'm going to do is I am adding 36 to both sides of the equal sign. Okay? Because what you do to one side of the equal sign, you do the same thing to the other side. Now, on the left, I have a perfect square trinomial. So that means I can write this as the square of a binomial. So that means square root of the first term, x. Sign from the middle, minus. Square root of the third term, well, square root of 36 is 6. Close parentheses, quantity squared. On the right side, I have a math problem. Negative 7 plus 36 gives you 29. Now I take the square root of both sides. So, taking the square root of the left side, all that does is just cancels out the square. That's pretty cool. So I'm left with x minus 6. Now, square root of 29, 29 is not a perfect square. So it's just going to be plus or minus radical 29. Okay, I can then add 6 to both sides. And I get x equals 6 plus or minus square root of 29. Now, I could leave my answer like this, or I could choose to break this apart and just say x equals 6 plus square root of 29, or x equals 6 minus square root of 29. But most of the time your textbook will leave it like this here. Okay, so you would only use this if you needed to continue using this for something. So generally we would leave it like this, where it's all put together. And that's it. We have just solved a quadratic equation by completing the square. Have a great day.